Quick update, guys, on what we're seeing this second week in August. Still the crop's moving along slow, but that, again, as I said, is a good thing. Disease pressure continues to ramp up in the corn. I think for the most part, what we're seeing in the corn, though, it's going to have a little effect on yield. Splitting these corn stalks open, though, there is a noticeable amount of stalks that do show some interior stalk quality issues. Mainly in this case, we're talking about stalk rot potential. You can see it in the vascular bundles on the inside of the stalk. I don't think anything is going to be a problem until we reach black layer, but we are going to have to be out there pushing on those stalks and making sure that the stalk quality doesn't deteriorate. This stalk rot that I'm seeing is up high in the plant, so it's coming off the aborted second ears out there in the field itself and some of the damage that we see. Again, this is not something you spray a fungicide for. We don't have fungicides to control these stalk rots itself, but it's something we want to be aware of. We did find 2 fields this week with Goss's wilt. So that's the first Goss's wilt that we're running into. I expected to see more with some of the hail and wind issues we had, but the Goss's wilt is there. We did kind of find it by surprise. One in a corn-on-corn field and one in a corn-on-bean field. So be watching for that because it's going to kind of dictate what we do for managing it from here on out if it becomes an issue. On the soybean side, sudden death is definitely present. We're seeing some sudden death issues. I expect them to do nothing but ramp up the next 10, 15 days. It'll be pretty evident as the sudden death moves in. That's due to our planting conditions this spring, how long it took to get some of these beans out of the ground. Have not seen any white mold in the McLean County, DeWitt County area as of yet, but getting reports from our guys up in the Streeter Grand Ridge area that white mold is present up there right now. I do expect the northern counties to have to deal with white mold due to these cool nighttime temperatures. Getting some questions about the suckering and the boarding of the second ear in the corn, what we're seeing out there. And, again, we want that second ear to abort before pollination or slightly after. We want those suckers to abort pretty small. If you're seeing large second ears and you're seeing a lot of suckering, that's your indication that our plant population for that field, that hybrid selection, is probably too low, that it needs to be brought up. Again, we're talking about on every plant, not scattered plants throughout the field where there might be a plant missing or something like that. Those second ears will be the source of some of our stalk rot issues as we move on. Don't think it's going to be a real big issue, but it is something to pay attention to because it may be telling you that our populations were a little bit on the light side from that perspective. If I'm going to say what's a limiting factor right now in corn, it's definitely the nitrogen program. We can tell that if the nitrogen program has been managed intensely, it's paying off right now. Our biggest problem is fields that haven't been side dressed. We look at the fall ammonia versus all spring. It looks like right now the fall ammonia is holding up better than the one shot in the spring application that we have out there. So keep an eye on those fields. Watch those aerial imagery that we have out there because the nitrogen deficiency will be showing up now in your high-resolution pictures. We can identify whether we have applicator issues out there or if we got soil loss. Those are things we need to know if we're going to manage around that in the future itself. Again, I'm looking at a big corn crop here. I haven't seen any soybean aphids. I do expect them to be showing up by this time next week. Again, some reports coming in out of the Tonka area that they're finding soybean aphids in some of the soybean fields, and I would expect that. I would expect us to see some of that in the central part of the state probably by next week. I'll be traveling the rest of this week, going out to New York on vacation, doing a little business as well, so I'll get a good crop tour for you while I'm out there, and I'll try to report back what I'm seeing as far as what we got out there in Ohio and Pennsylvania and different places like that. So till next week, we'll see you, and take care.